Hey guys, how's it going? It is the November 2017 morning, uh 4 6 a.m. Could be playing with my brain, I'm not sure. Usually time um it's one a little why sleep prior, probably the last 2 nights unwoke. It's oh, what was it? The clock was, I think it was around 8:15 Eastern Daylight Time. Set the clock prior. Kind of forgot about it. Oh, I knew it was Sunday. And that was primarily because, for the exception breaks that he took to play his games, were in distance last. He got a little tired. Your base gets blown up a few times. It gets a little demoralizing. But it's an interesting struggle, and really it's really a cool grind type game, and that is where my heart seems, and I know it. I feel and scary because when you do as much as I've done, it close to 500 somewhere. I think I'm coming close. Um, Yesterday, um, well, here, and I'm going to be a little bit long-winded just to burn some time this morning. Um, I woke up around, I guess, 4:30, 45, 5:45 in the new. So kind of kind of within the range of a lot of time I would get up ways up before the alarm if I. So I water falling from the ceiling. But that happened just after I tried to get back. But before that, I was already agitated. I was. I went to bed last night, thinking o'clock after talking with. He was on my server. We did run a mock session last, but decided not to broadcast. The reason why I did that, I needed to talk to him. I needed him to kind of. I don't know. Not him, but hoping that there was something in there that was spark something. He had some ideas actually. Told me go that he just goes freelance and bother with the schedule because quite frankly there's a lot of work. Anyways, before I get to, I'll explain. I wanted to explain my. I think I've done this, and I think it's important to understand. As some of you can relate when you're in a separate, split family. But so if I'm sounding a little bit somewhat emotional right now, I could be, because I can kind of feel it that way because it plays on me. It really does. I here's I'll give you an example. Watch this. I'm gonna go into my YouTube for a minute. I'm gonna go over to. Now this is crazy because he's actually got the same access on his laptop that I do to mine. Um, I'm gonna go into YouTube, and if I go to my history, got my icon there showing, that is me. I guess what happened was I used my email on his computer, his laptop. I was trying. setting up something or files, or Google decided to say, okay, well, Google and YouTube often will match uh, what goes on. They collect a lot of data, share it, name it. Scary, actually. But if I go into the history, I can see the last. You're going to see this Creativerse thing. Now, first of all, Creativerse is a game that my son. I can't. There's a few how to discipline. I was the one who watched that one. I have no idea. And then I watched some of the uh conspiracy stuff. But watch down here. You see the subsistence. Now this was me wrestling. This was over the weekend. But then him and I would be watching some of this in between playing some of the live streams, and we actually watched through a lot of these live streams and various subsistence. If you guys don't know what subsistence is, it's basically a survival type game uh, where you got bears and you got wolves. It's really really cool. I wouldn't say it's realistic. It is realistic in the sense that you can do a lot of things, but then have hunters hunting each other. So it's a kind of like a uh, those of you know what I'm talking about. I say Judge Dredd, but that is it. Oh, Mad Max. For those of you, if you look up Mad Max, those of you maybe young, you know, look up Mad Max, and it's kind of that kind of thing where basically, you're surviving. It's not post apocalypse, apocalyptic or anything like that. But what happens is the hunt it actually brings on hunters. Now you can disable them too. I do personally. I have enough problem bears and wolves, let alone hunters. So I have hunters disabled. We're trying to build our base up, and every now and then, just to try to clear our paths, we're basically trying to take out some of these wolves and that. And yeah, sometimes it doesn't work out too well, to say the least. But scratch. But here's this Creativerse thing. Now, what happened was this was probably one of the last videos him and I watched. Um, we watched a couple of videos just before I dropped him off at 1:30. If you count the amount of hours in this Creativerse, I want you to pay attention. This was from 1:30 Eastern, and you can see there's 1 hour there. Now there's mine. I went into this. It's 1 hour, 2 hours. It's mine. It's 3 hours. There's mine again. And this was in the afternoon, I think. Then there's 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, hours. This is just before he went to bed. From the moment he got home, around 1:30, other than watching, I have to have a talk with his mom about. They've warned me about this. From the moment he got home, all he watched was that got me a little concerned. Oh, I can't get this game working on a laptop, and definitely wants it, but he has a huge passion for it, kind of like what I did for Run 8. So it's it kind of got at me, but then that was other things that was going on. So anyways, I wanted to mention that because I can't. He's got this passion for it. He can't even play the game, whereas I have the ability to play a game like I just don't. I mean, I'll be on Ski server in December, um, but other than that, I really don't have a passion, and it's kind of scary because I look at that now, and I probably sound like a nutcase right now, and I apologize for sounding that way, but I figured you guys needed to hear this. Um, and I'm probably, I don't think I'm tired right now. Obviously, I don't feel tired because I sleep. Maybe it was on my mind. I've had stomach issues. I usually have stomach issues on weekends as it is. It's kind of what's has something to do with the whole routine change. The routine changes, and it really changes between Sunday afternoon forward. Now, I've actually coped with it good most time over the past few years. Been gone now, I would 6 years. And I say gone because as far as, or I've been gone, I better word. I mean, I get to see him quite a bit. I get pretty good access, all the other stuff, blah blah blah. Our weekends are filled to the. He's even interested in participating in this Run 8 session that I'm going to be on ski. Ski's actually doing a 12-hour marathon. I think December 10th, and I think I'm going to have him extra time on that because of Christmas party I'm going the day before. So I'm like, okay, this. I first I was all excited. I was actually all excited about joining it because I thought, yeah, I want to support ski, and he's been very supportive to me. So that's kind of why I wanted to. The other servers, whether or not they've been supportive of me in the past or whatever, I haven't had as much to go on those. Uh, it's not a major thing for me. But when ski hosts a session, it usually doesn't do it that often. Did do one 2 weeks. That was cool. I'm gonna be away for a few, but I wanted to have that heart to heart with him. I'll get to that in a minute. But so this is how my routine. On Sunday afternoon at about 1:30, I drop him off. Like I said, I've been coping with it pretty good. When something's troubling him, it's different. And you can tell in my voice. I just like when I saw this, I was like, oh wow, he really wants to play that game and he can't. So what does he do? He watches YouTube videos, and it seems to be coping with it. He doesn't want to, most of the stuff on TV that he watches. So he, I guess watch his stuff. So he's really, really into it. When I was his age, I had a computer. I was thinking about getting him another computer. Believe it. I have he has a computer here that is the old server for yes California back in the day when I first started hosting. No, I did. I bought this one when I went onto a separate server. Um, but then that became his computer here. Um, and he actually ran computer because poor guy. I mean, he doesn't he loves this game. He wanted to play it with me. I tried playing with it. Really, it's kind of like Minecraft, but it's it's too much for me. I mean it's just crazy all the freaking things that are in it, and it boggles my mind. It defies realism for me. I mean, you start mining parts of trees, and trees are hanging up in the air, and you got all these goofy monsters all over the damn place. But he loves it, and unfortunately, here he is in at his age right now, where he's still in between that side where he can take away, he can not worry about what reality is and still be a kid to the point where he's becoming a man, you know, young adolescent or whatever. So he's in that stage right now. It really bothers me that for him somehow. The only way I'm trying to figure. I told him, yeah, I try this setting on your home or bring your laptop here so we can really work on it. We'll figure it out. I think his laptop's powerful enough, but it's a stupid ass Windows 10 platform. Anyways, let me so that gets to me. So everything now, and I'll show you how this works. If I still have a real passion for Run 8, which I've had in the past, I've even had some renewed passion or in recent, not not this past week, but there's been times where I've had that renewed passion. What would end up happening is on Sundays I would switch over. It would suddenly I would have the passion for Run 8, be looking forward to hosting a session. I'd be looking forward to developing Florida, Selkirk, or whatever the hell I was doing. So I would have that time. I found over the past few months that if I do too much of it, that's when I start losing my passion. So I backed off a bit. Uh, and I still don't know what the hell I'm doing tonight. I haven't figured that one out. We'll wait and see how the day goes. Put it that way. But I would have Sunday, all Sunday afternoon, 1:30 on. Went for a nice walk yesterday. That usually clears my mind pretty good. And I knew I was going to be running a session with Ski supper after supper. I should 6 p.m. we were, and we'll see how it goes. He's got about 600. I'll get into what he's got going and what works for him and what's not working. So that's the Sunday. So that's my whole Sunday. You know, obviously I work Monday to Friday. Well, obvious, but that's what I do. I work Monday to Friday. I am 1 hour before the alarm would. I've had my 6 hours sleep. Usually, what happens is when I have about 2 days of 8 hours sleep, I'm suddenly well rested. My mind is active, is right now, despite being tired, a little tired probably physically. I really don't feel it. My mind takes. That's where like, damn, I got a busy week at work, busy month for me at work. So I do have that on my mind. That weighs in too. Um, which is okay. I deal with it. Deal with it. I like my job. I deal with it. I get through the busy times because the normal routine is not too far ahead. With my job, it's just the busy time of year, harvest, and there's a lot of equipment being moved around. I work for processing. So, what ends up happening is Monday, I get home usually after groceries or whatever, I go back into Run 8. That's what the old routine. So normally I would run Sunday and Monday back to back, and I used to do that actually. I was really into it. That. Um, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays. There was a time where I ran Tuesdays and Thursdays over on Mike's server. That was becoming a little too stressful. What happens is Tuesdays I see my son, so I get those vacation days. Tuesday, um, right after work, I get to see him. We, you know, used to be earlier. Actually, I get him later now because he's getting older. I get to have him in the summertime. I have him up to 9 o'clock. During the winter, I have him up to 8, good night's sleep or whatever. Um, so that works okay. We do our thing. Our thing right now just have assistant or YouTube something. But that seems to be the major thing. A video game seems to be the major thing, which kind of bothers me in a way because I don't want my life revolved around and that. I want to be in touch with nature. And maybe that's why I'm going for the survival games. And I mean, you got all going on right now. I like going for walks. Uh, if this was spring, there would be no this was spring, I'd be getting my boat ready. I haven't done it in it'll be 4 years. Spring, I would be getting my raft ready. I would be getting a life jacket for him, and I would know exactly what I would be on weekends with finding creeks and rivers, uh, lakes, and that's where we'd be. As long as the weather is pretty good. Weather wasn't pretty good, maybe we could rain jackets. Not care. I don't know. Probably not. I don't think we'd go out in the rain, but as long as weather is whatever, dress for the weather, get out there and have fun with nature. Unfortunately, I started late. I once I started getting this passion for me to do that, um, yeah, I could have got him a life jacket. It's money. Buy him a life jacket. He'll outgrow it by the spring. So that's why I kind of thought, well, wait till the spring till I can fit him properly. Bigger life jacket. 'Cause growing kid, he's not gonna do that. So so anyways, yeah, go back to Tuesdays. So Tuesdays and Thursdays are my visitation days during the week. What happens is then Wednesday, I'd go back into run eight. I'd have all that time. Now, I used to have a little bit of extra time on a Friday. That's actually changed. I mean, I'm seeing him earlier on a Friday, so I'm seeing him again, getting even more time with. He's involved with. He is. Put it this way, it's not just computers. It's like karate is a big, huge factor, which is cool. I mean, he's really into it. It's the one physical activity that he has, and he does it quite a bit. And I'll get into that a little. He goes evenings. He goes. He doesn't do anything on Sunday. Sunday's kind of a relaxing day for him, and kind of veg around and not do. Whether it's me and while he's still here with me or whatever. We usually don't go for a walk on a Sunday. I end up going for a walk. He doesn't want to go for a walk on a Sunday. He just wants to spend as much time as he can with me doing the fun thing. Don't get me wrong, he likes going for walks with me too. But and he's even talking about next Saturday to go for a walk and then go back to karate. I thought, okay, sounds like a plan. How it goes. So he's thinking ahead of these things. So he's planning ahead for possibility things. And the reason why we like go back to karate is not for him to participate, but to watch some of the bigger kids so much. His favorite class actually is on Friday, because on a Friday they have all the tournaments. He's in tournaments. He just won gold medals. Tournament not long ago. Oh, where we were? Hamilton. Sorry, we were in Hamilton. And mind you, he only competed against one person, but anyways, he's been known to win medals. He's had comp, not always gold, but yeah, he won other per won his medals and got a sparring. He is currently a junior orange. Uh, he's working his way up. He will likely keep going and eventually become a black. So that's just the way he's going with goals. That's his desires. He's surrounded by a lot of junior black belts that he looks up to. That's what he does on Friday. He was sparring and working out with a bunch of junior black belts. Here he is, the one color belt in the class. And I'm not saying there's sometimes there'll be another one, too, but most of the time Friday, without question, doing that. He's definitely disciplined and definitely focused on. He gets into things and he finds his routines and just gets focused on them. I enjoy watching it. Awesome, especially spar. Don't understand the katas as much, so, but there's a discipline in that. It's plenty of exercise, so that's why I don't push things in, because I know he gets a lot of exercise. So I don't push going out for walks or anything like that. Oh, I know that sounds when I said he's on the computer for 8 hours on a Sunday night. Well, yeah, he is, but at the same time, I know he actually is becoming a very active kid. It's a lot of physical activity during the week, right? And not to mention playing soccer at school, play soccer in a league. Anyways, I'm going on. So here's where the transition changes. Once Thursday hits, go into the weekend. Suddenly, all the focus goes on to, and I look forward to it, because I'm not thinking run eight, not thinking what I'm gonna do Sunday. Usually not, unless I have something really, really interesting to really, really forward to do personally, because he's not really interested in running, exception of the player session, which uh no, the focus becomes on him, and then what happens is on Thursday night I get, and then I get him again starting Friday night. I get to see him at his tournament, take him from that, we'll have supper, and then he's mine. So he'll be mine for the remainder of Friday night, all of Saturday, up to Sunday. There's where the transition. So you can see that there's a big difference. Yes, there's work life and play life. The thing is, I mean, I got an 8 hour day. I work an 8 hour day. I get a 1 hour lunch, so really I only get 7 hours. I'm only 15 minutes, 20 minutes approximately. St. Catharines to Niagara Falls to where I work. I right on the high. Um, so I mean, there's no issues there. Um, it's just work. Yes, work is part of my life, and yeah, I got transition, but I get plenty of spare time. So it's not a question of I don't have enough time to do these things. I do have time to do these things, even though I may not have as much free time as I once did back when I first developed RTS. Back there was a time there where I wasn't working at all, so I had tons of time. So that kind of made almost avoiding boredom to be able to do something. I'm not saying I was bored back there and I chose run eight because I had better to do. Not what I'm saying. So where am I going with all this? So I said that I had that heart to heart whiskey, and he's doing a Proto Lance type position, which actually I was wanting to do the same thing myself, actually, because trying to find out all the prototypical information, I use TD3 data that I have, somewhat questionable. I never noticed it when I was dispatching it. Dispatched that, kind of noticing it. Oh, maybe I didn't run it enough, but I'm kind of noticing now that it's questionable. It seems to be a little bit lazy in some sense, accurate. For all I know, it could be accurate. Maybe all the trains run north during the night for some reason, and a majority of southbounds are not sure. But I don't remember. I visited Folkston life at Folkston. It's quiet. It's one-sided. I always remember each other. Mind you, I'm on a Sunday schedule. So, I was telling him what was going on. I was telling him what I was thinking. I was telling him that I just haven't, I have not, that I, and I just turned the clock back. The last run 8 video I did Wednesday, the clock was back on. I was all excited about it because I had done quite a bit of work. How I got to do it, and it is. Oh, then I realized, well, now I got all the data. I've got all the yard data. I got the yard reporting, all that other stuff, and just, now what am I going to do? Now I'm looking at it, and there's still so much more. Now I don't know if it's because I still have all that more work to do to where what's bothering me, I guess. That screen. So I don't know if it's that, and it could be, is that perhaps I'll have to really think about things. And that's the thing. I'm gonna think about things where I go too crazy. Unfortunately, when I'm busy at work, I don't get enough spare time at, well, because not the same amount of spare time. Same. It's just suddenly now I'm kind of venting off the pressure of work as opposed to thinking about what am I going to do tonight type. How am I going to tackle this? Um, but I will have some time today. I think I'll have a little bit of time, especially this morning, to really think about what I'm doing. Um, it's, there was a time where I thought it wasn't enough support. I have seen a little bit of support. So there's a lot of people that love my video. They don't like my other video. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I mainly have a run acre. But I've been questioning whether or not, what the hell I'm doing live streaming everything. Well, I have all kinds of bandwidth now. I've been questioning that necessary, whether or not meaningful, despite, a few thumbs up and a few loyal video visitors, probably a few loyal people going to pay attention to find this out later and, they'll be bored or they're going to want to see trains, more trains. Last night I tried something, and this was Ski had about 600 symbols in the system. It told me, and this is what kind of made me think, well, okay, maybe I'll try it again. He had about 600 symbols. I thought maybe something had 600 symbols in his system, and I forget how long he didn't see one repeat. I thought, wow, okay, I'll try that. Now, mind you, it's not really 100% set up and probabilities stuff. So, but I do have a lot of 10% probability on most trains, and I wasn't running on a AI train spawning schedule. Anyways. I was running on my own, but I thought last night I would try, and sure enough, what happens? I had two trains. I had one unique train, but I had trains and back to back, pretty much back to back. Same train spawned again. I don't have as many symbols as California because it's not as busy, but I do have quite a few symbols, both modern, old school that's still in there. I have some of the modern stuff that Jason had, as well as some of the stuff that and I was like, it was just so disheartening to see it. How I don't know. And then I started thinking about the batch, like to plan. So maybe that was an experiment that long, and it only made matters worse for me because now I was just having a realistic, well, not a realistic schedule because I don't even schedules, a lot of work, but it just didn't seem. And I was saying to him, saying, well, I might get around, I might just go with these symbols, put in stuff, and I might put a symbol there that says and or that says WAX, and anything that comes out of there, I am going to be able to IDs, run the damn thing. Certain all dash I Jackson is going. Stuff like that. Run it that way, but I'm not sure whether, but it's a little scary because for years I've had this routine, but I do have things that I can do. I don't want to burn out my week subsistence. He was kind of burnt out with subsistence actually. As much as he still likes it, he was actually getting out and going to his game. Well, my son on the week hasn't been able to run creative, and it sucks that we're coming towards winter now. This is time very difficult to get outside as much. Going up to Algonquin, all day coming. But after that, it just dies out. It's a bad time of year for this to happen, but maybe that's what. So I don't know. I can't make any promises. It's pretty. One, you guys to have an update. I'm gonna post a message, but by all means, I mean, let me know. Have any suggestions? I can get back in, then go ahead. Especially on the forum. On the forum, let it helps me because yeah, I do get so if I get a YouTube comment, I will get it in my. That's great. I do appreciate the support, you guys, subscribers. Um, my heart is I wanna get into showing what I really like. A lot of things. I got Microsoft Flight Simulator running to doing something. The era of Run 8. Personally, I see as good as Ross has been, still a few bugs in it. Those bugs in there fix the stuff. Positive. Um, besides that, other than stuff like I want to know where they're going with the scheduling. Other than LA. Oh, they have plans to go beyond three regions. Because honestly, if they went to they went to something a little smaller that I can basically take his phone and understand it. What I mean, basically overall be part of it. And Ski was saying, he says, well, why don't you do that? Let's take a certain section. I kind of did it before, and I suppose I did. The last time I did it was more on the trying to get other multiplayer people involved. But perhaps I have to relook at that and say, well, a certain way, you kind of miss out on certain. If I get away from this, out on that beautiful hump yard. That is a thing of beauty. So I like that. That's why I'm in Florida right now. I enjoy hump is set up. A lot of the other I don't know. I got to figure out where my passion is. I haven't really been, so that's kind of playing at me. It's really it's almost like, okay, well, I'm really asking myself what's really important to me as far as my scary by that reaction. But it's scary because that's been 5 years doing that. Up, just don't want to give up. Then again, becoming a little stale because it's becoming a little bit stale. I cannot find something to really going or get my passion going. So just wanted you guys to know that I'm not the only one that's having this. I've seen it with um, it's not isolated. There's a lot of potential out there for. I think that there's a lot of potential to run right. Good as it is, I think it can grow. That's just how I'm feeling about it right. Train Sim World came out. I was saying to him, Ski was going to me. You can get Sim World. I I said, and he said, yeah, total garbage. And we were joking about how some of these various ones easily get concentrated on a bit of physics or reality. It was a total miss as far as I'm really. There really hasn't been anything that can run it. I know that open rails back into that whole activities thing. It restricted into that activities box. Your storyteller and the reader. It makes it, and I used to write activities for Microsoft Trains. It very difficult an activity. Try to run your own, especially if you want to have this progressive system that things are done for a reason and purpose. On set up the next session down the road and the next session, and they just evolve like a normal. Like I said, I might have to take a break at some point. I think I'm bored as hell this late fall. I keep saying that I want to bring sessions back. I just have not. I'm not organized enough to know what the hell train. Clear enough with Florida symbol. It's going. So, anyways, I'm rambling. So I just want you guys to know. Uh, like I said, comment video. I said uh, I'm not liking it, but that's just the reality of where my mind is. If I do that, I'm down. Fair. It's not fair to me to lie to myself. It's not fair to lie. Pump everybody else up and then really probably still self pump. Regardless of that, I am looking forward to running on Ski's server on December 10th. 12-hour session. Even my son's interested in that. For some reason, he likes multiplayer, but he doesn't get to participate in a lot of them. There's a lot of sessions that aren't on weekends for him. But he is interested in. So I think him and I are going to be on the 10th, on the Sunday actually, because I get him that day as far as um but we'll see how that goes. That's that's a few weeks away. In between, I might take a break. I might do things really slow. Uh, See how it goes. Maybe I'll have a talk with some of the other guys who are struggling as well. Know, I know there's a couple others that are having. Scott's one of them. I've seen Scott's videos. He's tried to host a server. He's tried to do all kinds of getting back into it. Maybe I should have a talk with Scott. See how he's feeling. you know, he's feeling to do. Got a lot of creative juice. Got a lot more creative. Maybe see what he. That's it for now. I am to my voice and try to start. That's all for now, guys. So I don't know when I'll be back. Whatever. Always check the forums regardless. Passions in or out. I always do. Pages my. That's the first page that I go to as soon as I open up my browser. So when I go like this. I open this up. That's what comes up, because that's been, centerpiece of my computer existence for at least the past 5 years. 5 years. I'm always looking here. That's the recent wiki activity. At least. If I see something new in here, I respond. So, anyways, that's all for now. You guys can always reach me there. Always tell me if you got my email or comments, and that's fine. So, anyways, have a good week. Yeah. Have yourself a good week. And,